Hello to my intermediate watercolor class. I just wanted to show you guys something about the Tetrad color scheme. And so if you have the color wheel, it is one of the materials I'm asking for the class to have. You've probably seen this before, so you can see the colors and their complementaries, and if you were to add a certain color, you can see the result right there. Very useful. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to use this side. So this here, sorry. And so what is the tetrad scheme all about? And so if you look, let me show you guys here. Let me try to use the camera as much as possible. So you'll see this shape right there. You'll see rectangles and triangles. There's a triad, there's the complementary, split complementary. There's different variations of the triads. In other words, 3 colors to make a somewhat harmonious color theme. But for today, we're going to do tetrad, and that is wherever these lines are, you'll see it's actually a rectangle. So if you use this and you move it around, you can see that it's going to move to a different set of colors. But let me go to the PowerPoint to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so sharing screen. And let me see, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here I have a picture of the one that I have at home. So again, I'm hoping that you guys have this because it is pretty useful, especially for these kinds of assignments. You're probably wondering why even, why go this direction when it comes to creating your own art. Really, we are finding ways to create more harmonious overall compositions. And we do that by not going random when it comes to selecting colors. Instead, that if you find a set of colors, they actually work a lot better together. And when it comes to the tetrad theme, you're going to find that you're going to be using sets of colors that work together. So the first rule I like to discuss is this complementary color. You probably already know that if you are in this intermediate class. So basically they are opposites of each other on the color wheel. So here I drew a line out from orange to blue, just indicating that they are complements of each other. So that is one set of complementary colors. And here I have a second set of complementary colors. And you'll see that the orange is connected to the blue. On the other hand, you have a red that's connected to the green. And what's useful in terms of using this theme is that you don't have to use the color by itself. You can use variations of that color. So you can actually produce a shade of that color. In other words, add a black, or you can make a tint of the color by adding white, or you can make a tone of that color just by adding gray. So you're finding ways to neutralize it. It doesn't have to be as saturated as what we expect when it comes to looking at these colors. So here is the second set of the complementary colors, is what I was talking about earlier. Okay, so say that I'm going to create a painting. I'm going to create my own watercolor painting using this theme here. So I had to be pretty strict in that I want to just stick to these 4 colors. and that I'm going to make tints and shades wherever I need to. And it's not, I probably wouldn't say that it's a secret technique that watercolorists do, but you can say that you don't really use a lot of colors. You don't use every possible color on the color wheel at most times. In fact, if you just stick to a few, you could probably make stronger work that way. And you know, it's totally possible that you can use all the colors and make a very strong composition. But when it comes to the tetrad theme, you're being a little bit more selective. But something about this color harmony is that it works, and that's why we have to use two sets of complementary colors. And so that is one example. And again, if you're looking at this, you're looking at the color wheel itself, you know, select one color, see its complementary, and see what the other two colors are going, what is the other pair of colors that's gonna come up on that little rectangle. And so say that you don't want to use these colors in particular, you don't want to use orange, red, green, and blue. Let's say that you want to change it up. So you want to use the yellow and violet instead. And so that is one pair of complementary colors. If I was to create a tetrad theme using these colors, then I would look at the wheel itself, see where that rectangle lies, and this is actually where it would lie. So actually, it would either lie on this side or the other side. Say that I want to make it a little bit cooler, maybe I want a little bit more green. You can go that direction, or you could go more towards orange. So you do have freedom in terms of what colors you decide. And so again, you're looking for two pairs of complementary colors, and you're trying to stick within that range. Okay, so I actually have some examples of artists that have done this. I found these online. So here's one example by Jane James. So right away, you can notice the use of complementary colors. And so if I were to look at my color wheel, I'm going to use this. I see that she's using the orange, the red orange. It feels like red orange. So I'm going to use the little guide. I'm going to shift it over to where the red orange is. And that, what is the complementary color of that? It's the blue green. So we see a lot of blue green right there. And then which direction did she end up going to make the tetrad? It's either the yellow green and the red violet, or the yellow orange and the blue violet. So to me, I am seeing a little bit more of the red violet and the yellow green, especially with the leaves. So she used variations of those. Actually, she stayed pretty close to the more saturated versions. She just added a little bit more water to create the lighter values. And so that is one example. Here's another example. Maria Elkins. I also found this online. So I can get my color chart, my little color wheel, and check which ones did she use. And you know, I'm not going to go through the whole process for each one, but overall very harmonious. A lot of really interesting things going on in this picture. A lot of interesting textures. When I look at some of these divisions, these spaces. So you can go any direction you want in terms of the composition. You want to do a still life, or you want to do a landscape, or you want to go a little more abstract. It's really all up to you. So here's the last example. One of my favorite artists, Claude Monet, and this is not watercolor. This is, I believe this is, I'm going to say oil. Yes, it looks like oil paint. I'm trying to remember. Claude Monet is around late 1800s. I was almost going to say acrylic, but no, the acrylic wasn't used at that time. So this is all oil paint. And right away, we're seeing the use of complementary colors, especially with the very strong orange and blues. I love Monet's style. I just love the abstraction of these natural landscapes. And so that's it for my little talk when it comes to the tetrad color theme. Remember that the colors are up to you. Try to stick to those 4 colors, whichever you choose, the 2 sets of the complementary colors. Use the color wheel if you have it. The overall design and theme is up to you. You will have 2 weeks to work on it. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.